Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield ship review. In today's review, we're going to be looking at the Warhorse. It doesn't have a tier, which is quite interesting. Just looking at it, it is based on... It's kind of like the... I reviewed another ship like it, which basically is like the Frontier's like bigger brother. But this seems to be like a combat variant. Usually when you get these ships, they're like all white with like a different color, like red or blue or in this case, orange. They kind of tend to show that they've been upgraded for combat. So it's a Nova Galactic vessel, as you can see. It's a pretty cool looking ship. I quite like the look of the Nova Galactic vessels. They kind of give me the vibes of, like if you look at some of the newer ships, like say Shroud Eklund, they don't have the same sort of like lifting thrusters as these. These are like vertical lifting thrusters that like can be maneuvered, or they can be like they can be moved. So like you have better basically vertical takeoff capabilities. Anyway, let's get into the stats. So it's got a fuel of 200, which is decent. It's, that's about the point where I'd say like anything below that, you're going to have a problem. It's got a hull of 548, which is not amazing, but it's not bad for an A-class vessel. It's got a cargo capacity of 675, which, again, not too bad. You could, just looking at it, you could probably potentially slap some more on there if you wanted to. But, it's not a bad starting point. It's got an A-class reactor with 28 power, which is not bad for an A-class. The highest A-class is 31, so we're only 3 off of... I think it's... no, it might be 33, actually. So we're 5 off the highest reactor. But again, it's quite good for what it is. Only has a crew of 2, which you could improve by swapping out whatever module that is. I'm guessing it's going to be a living quarters. You could swap that out if you wanted to get more crew. It's got a jump range of 15 light years, which is very low. I would immediately strip that out and put a better one in. It's got 550 shields, which isn't bad. I think the highest shields you can get for A-class is about 800. And then it's got 3 sets of weapons. It's got lasers, which it's got 2 of them mounted there on the top. It's got a single particle weapon mounted to the starboard side of the bridge, and then it's got a missile on the port side of the bridge, or the cockpit rather. So this ship cost me 106,380. Now obviously that price will vary depending on your perks. If you have none of the perks, it'll be a little bit more expensive. But yeah, let's go purchase it. So I bought this ship in the generic ship vendor here, the ship service technician, in his little hut in Neon. You can find this ship anywhere, any of these vendors, but this is where I found Neon. Now, I say anywhere, but if you come here and it's not there, I would head to Seoul, land on Mercury, wait 24 hours in so like hop in a seat in your ship so you can wait, and then wait 24 hours. 24 hours on Mercury is over 2,000 hours in game, so it'll reset every single vendor's inventory. And then once you've done that, come back here and check. And if the ship isn't here, you can either go back to Mercury and just kind of do it again. Or if you want to be more efficient, you can check some of the other generic vendors on like Alpha Centauri or Mars or places like that. This ship, because if it's sold at one of the generic vendors, it's sold at any vendor. So anyway, we're going to quickly jump to our usual spot and do a quick review. Alright, so here we are in the glamour shot. It's pretty nice looking ship. The thing is, if you've flown the Frontier at all, you're kind of used to this sort of style. It's just a little bit longer. It's got the nice color though. I like the white and the kind of gold. Anyway, let's try not to damage ourselves. So we've got because it's a Nova Galactic vessel, we got the Nova Galactic entryway, which I quite like. Ooh, we've got 2 cargo capacity, which is, or 2 which is nice. I can fix my broken legs. So entry through the ladder. I kind of see this ship as like, like if you want to like upgrade from the Frontier, this is kind of a decent upgrade. So immediately we have a 2x1 all-in-one berth. It's pretty nice. We've got a little bed there, Nova Galactic to oh, Galactic Cat. Is that like a Nova Galactic thing? Kind of cool if it was. So we got a little bed there.
And just what is on your mind?
Got some weights. We got a little chair. And then we've got a little kind of a kitchenette type thing. We've got a little eating area for your crew to dine.
Yeah.
Little couch there. Another bed there. And we've got a little cooking station. We got a microwave. That looks like an oven more so.
Is there a way to go faster than the speed of light?
And then back here we have a little one by one storage room, Nova Galactic, and then we've got the docking port up above. And then if we head back this way, we have the... I love this Nova Galactic bridge, or cockpit, really cool. Very, kind of reminds me of Pelican. It looks more like a combat vessel from the interior. We've got the pilot seat there, and then back here we have the co-pilot seat looking up, and we have the navigator there to the right. So let's take it up and see how she performs. Just going by the reactor, I'm expecting decent things from it. It's also got pretty good engines. They're not bad engines. I really like how those engines look. So we're going to take off. So yeah, so it looks like we're going to have more than enough power to play around it. Really love those Nova Galactic engines. And then they rotate. I really wish they stayed on at all points. I'm assuming someone's going to mod it to like make them better, but I kind of wish Bethesda did that. Because it seems like a bit of an oversight. Like, if they have enough power to lift you off a planet's atmosphere, they have more than enough power to maneuver. Anyway, so just looking at the power, we have more than enough power, so we can power everything, which is very unusual when I do ship reviews. And then we can put some extra power in the grav drive. Now, I have a perk that increases my power by 5, so for the sake of this review, we're not going to be using that 5 power. So you've got laser weapons, 2 of them there. Got that single particle. And then we've got the missile. Pretty decent layout. I like the mix of the laser and the particle, so you can use the laser to strip down the shields quicker with the particle. And then once the shields are down, you can just swap to the missiles and particle. Let's do a quick speed test. We got a base speed of 150, which is quite good. We have a boost speed of around 600 maybe. Yeah, boost speed is 600, almost 600. Do a quick agility test. So if we pitch up, okay, this pitch is quite fast. I'd say that's like a 7. Quick yaw. Okay, again, that's not too bad. Yaw is pretty decent, and then the rolls kind of, yeah, rolls are kind of hit and miss. They don't seem to be determined by agility. They're just kind of random depending on the ship. So we're going to quickly land on the planet now and do a teardown. Alright, so here we are in the teardown. So we've split it into 3 sections. On the top here, the only habitat module we have is the NG2 Docker from Nova Galactic. And then for the weaponry, we have a pair of these Dragon 23-1 PIR pulse lasers from Horizon Defense. A-class, 1200 range, 6.65 fire rate, 13 shield damage, and 3 power. So they're quite good. I'd recommend keeping these. Usually I don't really comment too much on these sort of kind of weaponry, but I rock these on my own ships. I know a lot of people prefer, like, you know, and initially I said that the higher power weapons aren't always good, but they are actually, in hindsight, after somebody pointing out that my maths is not very good. Usually having more power is actually better, but I like to stick with less power unless I'm playing on hard difficulty. Anyway, and then we have the Deflector SG-40 shield generator from Sexton Shield. This is an A-class, requires 6 power and 550 shields. Now we do have at this current area, we have those shields and we have better ones. So we can go up to SG-60. So basically 2 higher. It costs almost twice as much, and it gives us an extra 210. No. An extra 310, sorry. I say as I just spit. It gives an extra 310 shields, so it's not too bad. Obviously, you're going to need to have Starship Design 4 if you want to fully use this. And then we have at the back here, we have a Nova Galactic NG-170 grav drive. A-class gives 14 grav jump thrust, gives us 15 light years in the current configuration. I like Nova Galactic. They're probably my favorite ship manufacturer, but these things are outdated as heck. So I would recommend putting on... Thing is, they're not even that expensive. Like, for instance, this one here, this Helios from Deep Core. It's double the price, but 4K to 8K is not too bad, and then it only requires Starship Design 1. We slap this bad boy on, we get 30 light years, we're good to go. Which, you know, we get a little bit of extra heavy weight, but it's nothing wrong with it, you know. And then for the aesthetics, we have this Nova Cowling 1LTF. We have the Nova Bracer here. And then we have 2 of these Nova Cowling 1L. This is starboard and this is port. And then if we go to the middle of the vessel, We have the Magellan C2 cockpit from Nova Galactic, 240 cargo, 2 crew. We have this Infiltrator SC-01 missile launcher from Horizon Defense, A-class, 4500 range, 1 fire rate. How does it do more hull damage? What? That's new. Okay, so apparently it fires a munition that does 1.04% more, not percent, but 1.404 damage to shields. So if you want missiles that kill shields, like what's that? Like probably like 2%, 3% quicker. Get one of these, and then it requires 3 power. And then on the other side, we have the Disruptor Disruptor 3310 proton beam from Horizon Defense, A-class, 4200 range, 3.49 fire rate, does 18 damage to hull and shields, and requires 3 power. And then behind that, we have the Nova Galactic Living Quarters 2x1. Now, if you want to increase the crew capacity, you can obviously get one of... Let me duplicate this. I don't know why I duplicated that. That was kind of pointless. So if we go to the habitats, and you've seen me do this before, we can get one of these control stations. And if we replace it, this would give us an extra 2 crew, which on a smaller ship like this, those 2 extra crew slots can be very useful because you can utilize a person like Omari. He's a guy you can find on Aquila that gives you extra shields, or you could use, say, just Samco, for instance, to give you extra speed. Anyway, we have 4 of these NG-10 landing gear, 2 port here, thrusters, and then 2 starboard. And then we have 2 of these M30 Ulysses HE3 fuel tanks by Dogstar. They give 100 each, which is not bad. We have this Nova Galactic storeroom here at the back. The Tokamak X120S reactor from Xi'an. It's an A-class with 28 power. And then we have 2 of these White Dwarf 2030 engines from Relodyne, A-class. Require 3 power each, 13,020 engine thrust and 2,700 maneuvering thrust. So I believe there is a better version of these. Oh no, is there not? Okay, apparently 2030 is the most. As the reactor, I don't think they have any of these reactors, these types of reactors here. Yeah, they don't. But you could go the route of using the go-to, which this bad boy here, Spheromac DC202. Obviously, it requires you to have for Starship design, and it's pretty pricey, 10k more, but you get an extra 5. And then, yeah, in the bottom here, we just have the NG6 landing bay from Nova Galactic, and then we have the Polo 2000 cargo hold. Now, I'm going to put the ship back together because I actually have a potential slightly... Let me see if I can do this. This could be completely pointless, but we shall see. Because I'm thinking... There's extra space on the side there that we could make better use of. So let me see. Yes, perfect. Okay. So you can replace these 2 Ulysses landing, or these M330 tanks. So these give 200 and they have a mass of 36. This one has less mass and more fuel. And then you have these areas here on the side, so you could potentially, if you wanted to, you could add some extra weaponry. So you could get some of these here. And you could basically mount some extra guns there. Now the thing is, if you were going to mount the guns, I'd probably recommend moving these back a little bit, just so it doesn't look as, you know, as awkward. And then, yeah, you could mount these here. Regardless of whether you mount the these there, I would recommend getting rid of these and like replacing it with them. You could also, if you didn't want to mount them there, let me just remove these. You could also add some extra storage because this, you know, this is kind of an entry level ship, so you're going to not have much storage. So we've got some of these bad boys here. These would give us an extra 400 each, so almost an extra 1,000. Now she gets a bit heavy. Just a tad bit heavy, but an A-class vessel like this, you know, you don't really worry about moving too slow. You know, you want to carry as much as you can. But anyway, that's just an idea on the upgrade. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys make that upgrade, or would you kind of have your own idea for it? And also, let me know if you'd fly this sort of ship, I know that it's quite similar to the Frontier. So like a lot of people might be like, I don't really want to upgrade to like the Frontier 2.0. I'd rather, get a nice, sexy Shroud, Eklund, or a Deimos, or potentially another Nova Galactic, or well, no one's buying Tayo because they all look really bad interiorly. That was a joke. Anyone who likes Tayo, don't come for me in the comments. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think of the ship. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you like this sort of content. And don't forget to also check out some of my other reviews. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.